Hello, friends. How are you? How's Monday? How's your day? How's life? Mine is good. It is later to right now. What time is it? It is almost 5 o'clock when I'm recording this. Normally I do this at lunchtime. Could not do that today because today I had to go to my office, which I don't have to do very often, thankfully. And I don't mind it. Let's put that on the chart. But and let's get this out of the way. I have to be very careful with what I say because I'm not allowed to talk about certain things in certain ways as a public employee. But I had to go to the office, and I think that days like today, when I there's people there. There was a lot of people there today. That it kind of highlights the absurdity of going to an office for me. I get it. Some jobs require in-person time. And the people that have those jobs, I'm sorry. My job does not. Like, at all. Ever. It's Is it a perk? Sure, it's a perk that I don't require in-person, face-to-face time. Like, that's just not how my job works. And in fact, I could and would, when I worked full-time in the office, would just go in, close my door, and sit in there for 8 hours, obviously do my job, open my door, and leave. And I pretty much just that's my existence, right? So today I go to the office because we had some stuff to do, and the reason that I point out the absurdity, quote absurdity of it. This is not absurd, but just the idea that there's some sort of culture around a workplace. I mean, I get it. As a public employee, I've been a public employee now for 15 years, something like that. Yeah, yeah, 15 years. I've been a public employee. Actually, 16 years. And no, 15 years. And so when you're a public employee, there is a culture at work because you're not put under the same stressors that a lot of private sector employees are. Because management is constrained, I would say, and cannot take advantage of employees or push, heinous policies. Like we work like almost like a union, right? Where the employees, we get time off. We are expected to take that time off. We're not expected to answer our phones when we're, there's not this like slave like labor. That's a terrible word to use. Sorry if that offends somebody, but that's kind of, there's not the driven, like you're not being somebody's whipping boy all the time as a public employee. So you get to have a little bit more culture at work because the people are typically treated well, and so they enjoy working there. There's not a bunch of begrudgment going on, which is toxicity, and toxicity is what makes a workplace not good. And toxicity is the reason why you could say that some people don't want to go to work, right? Or don't want to have a office job or whatever. But my job's neither of those things. I actually do have there is a family aspect to my job, and I know that's weird to say because I have worked in the private sector, and I would never consider any of the jobs that I've had prior to being a public employee anything close to a family. Like I would never ever ever say that. I would much rather spend time with miscreants than my former coworkers. But my current place, it's fine. So there is no culture gained or lost by being or not being in an office. We stay in contact all of the time, but I can tell you that going to work on a day like today, I accomplished very little. Because there is, like, desk meetings and hallway meetings, and there are these moments where you're trying to get something done and you just can't, because there's just conversations happening, and those conversations rarely are work related, and that's the culture, right? That's the culture part of the job that some people claim is lost when you're not in person. Personally, I think I still have those culture moments through our side channel communications, whether it be instant messaging or email or whatever. I still have those personal connections, only I don't have to sit through 10 minutes of them. I can sit through one sentence and move on with my life and get my job done. And so the productivity it was on highlight today, just how much I did not accomplish today, being in person. I did accomplish some good stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I did work that was valuable, and it supports other teams even, but just not nearly to the level I would have accomplished being at home. And that can be frustrating, because as a person who, I like to get stuff done so that I can move on with my life. Like, I'm that person that if I walked into work and you said, I need this by the end of the day, I would get it done before lunch, because I don't want to take until the end of the day. That's just me as a person, right? I'm just going to get it over with. And I'll often just work through lunch because I just want to get it over with. I don't want to have it lingering and I'll finish it up. No, let's get it done. And so maybe, when I'm at home, I can push a little harder than I can in an office, and maybe that's my own fault. I don't know. Did this conversation make any sense at all? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Any questions, topics, things you want to know? You should put that down there as well. We can talk about stuff this week. If you have ideas, I'd love to hear them. Thank you for watching. While you're down in the comments, please like the video. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Still on a positive subscriber growth, and that feels really freaking good. Thank you for that. I'll see you tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 12. I don't know why I did that. Happy thoughts for troubled times. Number 3, there is a huge difference between giving up and moving on. Oh boy. Moving on doesn't mean giving up, but rather accepting that there are some things that cannot be. Moving on can mean that you're making a choice to be happy rather than hurt. For some folks, good situations last a lifetime, but for many, not knowing when to move on can hold them back forever. I think that's good in all things. Relationships, hobbies, jobs, whatever. I was very bad at that for the first 40 years of my life.